Let me return once again to the ingredients of the cake. We used flour, baking soda, yogurt, oil and cacao. This is a simple recipe, but actually contains two products which are essential for making the cake fluffy and tasty. One of these products was baking soda and another one was yogurt. Marty already noticed that yogurt, lemon juice and vinegar taste sour. During the centuries, scientists noticed this, that some products are sour because they contain certain acids. And at home we have many products which we are using every day. Some of them I collected here on my table. You can see tomato, grapefruit, lemon, coffee, vinegar, milk, yogurt. They all contain some acids. Just to name some: ethanoic acid, which is contained in vinegar, lactic acid, which is contained in yogurt and milk, ascorbic acid or the vitamin C, which is contained in many citrus fruits. What about the second ingredient, baking soda? Baking soda is defined as a base. It is a carbonate. The eggshell is also composed primarily of carbonate. So this means that during a baking of cake or when we dipped eggshell in vinegar, we actually had a reaction between acid and base. Scientists distinguish nowadays acids from bases according to their pH value. It is a very important concept in chemistry, which probably you are going to use later in your studies. Today, we are going only to introduce the concept so that we see how acids and bases in our experiment distinguish and their pH value can be measured. The pH is measured usually with an indicator, and very often the simplest way is to use the so-called indicator paper, where the scale of pH is indicated from 1 to, as you can see, to 11. It can be to 14, as we said before. Marty is going to measure now the pH of lemon juice and vinegar and compare with the scale on the indicator paper. Yes. So we have two pieces here. Marty, I will help you. Yes. So dip in, this is the lemon juice.
First we'll try the lemon juice. Let's see. Oh, it is turning. Okay. It is turning a little bit red.
So we are going to compare, and we can say, Marty, that the pH is?
I think it is, let me just
around
see.
2. Between 2 and 3 probably.
2 and 3. 2 and a half.
2 and 3. Okay. Now we are going to check the pH of vinegar. Some more?
Yes, a little bit. I think it's...
Are we ready to check?
Yes, I think we are. Let me just see. I think it is a little...
Maybe 4.
3, I think.
3, between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Nowadays exists the so-called pH scale, which mainly goes from 0 to 14. Let us see closer this diagram. We already noticed that pH 7 is the dividing line between acidic and basic substances. Below 7, you can see that many products also at home have this environment. For example, milk and coffee are slightly acidic. Tomato, lemon, grapefruit and other citrus fruits are acidic, around 2, 3. Here we can find also vinegar, and as you can notice, we have a very strong acidic environment in our stomach, because this environment is needed for the enzymes to digest the food. When people have increased acidity, usually they use the so-called antacid tablets. As you can see with pH 10, there are the so-called stomach tablets, which are taken from people who have this increased acidity to neutralize the acid. At the end, The reaction between acid and base is a neutralization reaction. And what is happening also in our cake is also a neutralization reaction which releases carbon dioxide. And one final thing while you are baking your cake. Do you know what is the difference between baking soda and baking powder? They both can be used in baking, but the difference is important. This is baking soda, which we used in our cake with Marty. We needed an acidic ingredient so that the reaction can happen and the gas can evolve. While baking powder contains baking soda, but also the acidic ingredient already in the mixture. So this is a mixture of acid and base inside. In this case, it is a citric acid. So we don't need an acidic ingredient when we bake the cake. Marty, thank you very much for your help.
Thanks for having me.
We greatly enjoyed baking with Marty and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.